it. We're just gonna go for it. Hello and good evening and welcome to my show. Let me get this pulled out in case I need it. So y'all, an update on today. I'm actually not going to disclose too much information because I've already made reports to authorities, and so that part is going to be playing itself out. I just want to say this for my enemies. You will never, ever have victory over me. It doesn't matter what you do. You can try to create all these complications and try to upset me and get me to react and da la 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 la. But I'm already onto your game. I am onto your game. And so when y'all be doing this dumbass shit to come after me and attack me and shit, harass me, I got plan A, B, C, D all the way through Z, y'all. So just be aware. So what they planned was basically a criminal organization where these people were defaming my character and harassing me, essentially because some people stand to gain some money at my expense. Again, this is already being investigated by the authorities. But these people, they've gone out of their way to steal from me, lie to me, like I said, misrepresent my character, to the utmost. Try to make false claims against me. All because of my righteous personality. That they just can't handle it. Because these people, honestly, they don't love the truth. They care more about their own deluded versions of reality. And so because of that, you know, they want to make themselves my enemy, but no weapon formed against me will prosper. Even if you cause some sort of temporary discomfort in the interim, in the meantime, there is nothing you guys can ultimately do. Because where does my help come from? It comes from the Lord of heaven and earth. Okay, and if he is for me, who can be against me? You guys coming against me for these stupid ass freaking, it's pitiful. It's disgusting, actually, these people, what they're facilitating against me. But I'm aware of it, and the authorities are aware of it. So it's probably not going to go too well for you. Let's just be real. Oh, sorry, I just got notification. I was just checking it out. And these people have gone out of their way to steal my inheritance, steal my property, steal my child, steal my content, my business content, my identity. I did a little verification today, and I thought it was really interesting how it asked me if I was associated with a certain address. And I had never been associated with that address. And I was like, if anybody in my name has been associated with that address, it's going to come out. And there was, hold on a second. I'm going to pull this up. So I'm going to do a little reading. So let's see if I can find this. I think this is the one. There's one of them anyways. This is just one of the Bible verses, but I'll kind of elaborate a little bit. But it's Matthew 16:25. For whoever would save his own life shall lose it. And whoever shall lose his life for my sake shall find it. You want to take my life? I will find a new one. Yeah. And this goes along with whatever you lose on account of righteousness' sake I will be blessed beyond measure for what I have lost because of my character, because of my ethical, moral, righteous character. That y'all want to sit over here and project on me like I'm this and that and the third, and I'm none of that shit. These people were saying I was unprofessional, and I looked up the meaning of it, and I'm like, wow, I do that a lot. And the only time somebody isn't professional is when what they profess is actually insincere or based on a lie. And I'm like, do you really think I'm insincere? You know, some of the most honest, sincere people are the most blunt. And this is what this boils down to, is these people just simply did not want to be exposed for what they really are and what they were really doing. And they wanted to try to hurry up and get rid of me and blame me, shift the blame and gaslight the hell out of my character to try to justify their guilt and their shame for being so low vibrational. And it sucks, but it's not my fault that they're unprofessional and just haters because, you know, they feel some kind of way. They feel inferior, or like I outshine them. And I actually do. And it's not because I'm trying to be better than anybody. It's just simply how I am, really. So weird. This guy just wanted my phone number. He wanted my phone number and he wanted my social media. So I sent him a friend request to an old page. I'm like, I can still get on that page. I just don't. And it's because I think that page got hacked a long time ago, and that people on that particular page, they were all people within my immediate surroundings, my friends, my family. And this was when I started being attacked spiritually by this corrupt group of people. My friends failed me. My family failed me. And so they no longer became my audience. So I created this account that I'm on now, which they still hack and stalk. But at this point, I'm not running away from them. I'm not running away from them creating new accounts anymore. I'm going to go ahead and let them try to fucking do whatever the fuck they want so that they're being surveillanced while they do it. So that they get fucking busted. That's why I said, come on into my lair. You want to try me? Okay. See how it fucking works for you. Every last one of these people who have come against me out of jealousy because they believed lies, because they were more apt to participate in a manipulation, they're going to get severe karma. Trust and believe that. And I don't even have to do anything. I don't have to raise a fucking finger. I literally don't have to do anything, and they will suffer the karmic retribution for their decisions. Naturally. Even if it happens 10 years down the road, guess what? 10 years down the road, when some shit happens to you, you're going to stop and go, this is all because I participated in attacking an innocent person out of jealousy or greed or whatever it was, whatever foul demonic possession took you over, pretty much. But yeah, these people basically defamed my character, did all manner of criminal activity against me, attacked my housing, attacked my finances. I wouldn't even be surprised if these people fucking sneak in my fucking house and steal my shit or plant things or whatever. I wouldn't even fucking be surprised at this point. Like, nothing fucking surprises me. I'm just waiting for the next fucking thing. But I went and talked to a police officer today. That was really interesting. The guy was actually really nice, but he was ignorant as fuck, as usual. Not as usual. Some of these officers are really cool and I like them. I have dealt with really cool officers, and I just want to say, when it comes to this whole, you know, people hate now on police officers, I don't hate police officers. I just think they need better training and they need to be held to a higher standard. That's about as simple as it gets for me, because they do not wield the sword in vain. And I appreciate their service, especially when they're good and they do the right thing. And that does happen. It does happen, you know, so I don't discredit them. I actually saw, I forget who it is, Westside Accountability. I've watched their videos a lot, and I was actually impressed at first, because I was like, dang, like, how can this man, if I was to go and do that, these motherfuckers would arrest me. Oh yeah, with a quickness. But maybe because he's a man or something that they don't. But if I was to go and do that, nah, it would not fucking last very long. I have to deal with them diplomatically, you know, because there's no way I could, you know, do that. But I also did eventually come to decide that I don't actually like that guy's approach. I think it's rude and disrespectful, and it's not actually accomplishing anything solid, like long term. You know, if you really want to change, there's actually ways to go about that, which, you guys, there has been a change in the wind because of divine countenance in what my life purpose is. This is one of the things that just makes me laugh, because these people don't understand that every time they do this and they attack me and they cause me some sort of restriction or challenge, it actually only serves to my betterment. It actually becomes a stepping stool for me. People do not get that. And so because of all of this stuff that's happened in recent days, I have made definitive decisions on certain things that I will be doing from now on. And it's going to get crazy around here, because I'm done. I'm tired of it. And I will be at City Hall every fucking day until this fucking shit is done and over with, period. You guys wanted to start a war? Okay. Well, here we go. And it's not even me. It's going to be these people fighting against each other within organizations. Good guys against bad guys. And all I have to do is speak and just say, here, the proof's in the pudding, honey. This is where the rubber meets the road. And so I will be doing that. I'll be moving forward into some of these other aspects of my business that have been in development for a little while because of certain things that I was experiencing when I was being attacked, especially when I first started my business, like the treasure box. I did since then essentially expand my business, but because I was going through these things, a lot of this has just been going on in the dark within the recesses of my mind and heart. Of every little thing that's happened, that I am calculating light years beyond of things that I will do and accomplish because of this. And it's only going to project me more into the spotlight. I refuse to back down. Absolutely refuse. You guys wanted to sit here and wave your little red fucking rug at the bull to piss the bull off and shit. Well, this bull right here, y'all, I'm not going to lower my vibration so that you can try to dominate me. I'm gonna go plow a fucking field. Yeah, so this is pretty much what's going on at this point. And so, yeah, there's so much to say about what happened that I'm just not going to disclose online. And it's not because I'm not trying to be professional, because as I looked into the meaning of what it means to profess, to be professional. It actually literally means to speak a truth. That's basically what it fucking means. And I'm like, I've been doing that this whole time. But it means more than that. It's about, beliefs. You know, the things that you believe. To openly claim a skill or feeling. Now, depending on the nature of the skill or feeling or belief, that you declare openly or claim, the level and quality of the skill, and the quality of the emotion or the feeling or the belief. How true is that belief? If I come over here and I'm sitting, say, with some people at a workplace and I say, you know what? All of this makes me think that so-and-so's doing witchcraft. What happens now is, now that I have professed that not only did I explain how I feel or what I believe, but I'm also exhibiting a skill, which is discernment and the ability to read between the lines and see things for what they really are. Do you want to question my profession to determine if it's insincere or invalid? Right? But you can't say that I'm not professional by openly making this claim. That's what it means to be professional in a work environment. It doesn't mean to cower at other people in their domination. It doesn't mean to just, you know, accept what any old buddy's projection is, or be respectful. You know, they twist this around, this whole idea. Respect literally means to, like, inspect something again. Like, look again. Reevaluate that. Look again. You know what I'm saying? Or keep that in mind. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I have this information. Respect the information. Go back and inspect it again. Yeah. Take another look. Look back. Look again. What is your belief and why? I will admit that I am upset at what happened. But because of everything that I've been through, y'all, every time this shit fucking happens to me, it literally just lights my fire. It really just lights my fire. Like, it gets my goat. It's like, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And so it doesn't matter what happens to me. All things work together for the good of those who love him. And let me tell you something. I love him. So it doesn't matter. Your hate, your spitting, your jealousy, your attempts, the criminal activity you have been involved with, all of that will work out for my good. Period. You are literally assisting me in building up treasures in heaven for eternal glory. And you think you're winning something. That's crazy. Y'all really fucking think you're fucking master alchemist and shit, but you don't know nothing about the law. I am an expert. I am an expert at the law. Doesn't mean I always follow it, but you realize if you break the law in one point, you've broken the whole law. All it took was for your jealousy to overcome you for a moment because of manipulation that was being done. Yeah, because some of these people, they're going to get severe karma, and they don't even realize the extent of what they were involved with by joining in with these people who were attacking me. Some of these people were actively involved. They were paid money. They were bribed, you know what I mean, to be a hot pot or the honey pot. You know, they're paid to set up these little traps around me and shit. Try to manipulate me into thinking this is my only option. You guys don't fucking stand. I am an empress. Do you know what that means? Not just that, but high priestess. I can create out of fucking thin air. Even this whole situation that has taken place wasn't 100% one-sided. I indirectly was like a part of bringing this about, not in an intentional way that's bad, but to allow the truth to come to a head. I predicted this. I literally predicted this. I was like, I know this is going to happen eventually. I gave the benefit of the doubt because I always do that. But I was raised to expect the worst and to hope for the best. That way I'm never disappointed. That's what I was taught by my father. Yeah. And as much as I don't like my parents, they have taught me things that have some value in it, like such as that. I mean, it might seem a little bit negative or pessimistic, but reality is 9 times out of 10, people let you down. There's always somewhere something falls through. Do you know what I mean? And you never really know what's going to happen. So of course I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm going to expect bullshit because that's what life experiences taught me. And so there's a real reason why I would, agree with that kind of philosophy. And you can't squeeze blood from a turnip. There ain't no blood in a motherfucking turnip. Only turnip juice, okay? Which is not the same. And so, and another one, just another one that I thought just came to my mind that was brought up to me when I was a young girl. And my mom was sitting there, and I remember this was actually really interesting. It was when I was younger and I had started smoking weed, and the way my mind worked at the time. But I just remember I got back from a situation with this guy, and I had smoked some weed, and I was stoned as a motherfucker. And I came into the house, my mom was talking with this guy, and he's like, oh, you just went and hung out with this guy? And he's like, what are you, a rebound? And I just was like, what the fuck is a rebound? Because I didn't know what that was at the time. So they're going on about how I'm a rebound, right? What's fucking new? Fucking rebound bullshit, my fucking ass. Y'all be just ridiculous out here. But it's true. I was a rebound. And I don't remember exactly like what they were talking about at the time, except for to say this conversation got onto my mom saying that 3 people can keep a secret if 2 are dead. And the other guy repeated it like, 3 people can keep a secret if 2 are dead. And I thought that was the most, for whatever reason, in my state of mind during that moment, was so incredibly profound for me that I never forgot it. And I laughed. I laughed so fucking hard. I literally laughed so fucking hard when they said that. But how interesting that they even said that. What's the secret she's trying to keep? That 2 people, at least if 2 people, 3 people can keep a secret if 2 are dead. So in that moment, there was a secret that what my mom had. She had a secret. And she was literally saying that we can all keep some kind of secret if 2 of us are dead. Meaning me and the other guy. What's your secret? I'd really like to know. I already know what your secret is. I just want you to know, Tracy Eggleston. I already know what your fucking secret is. You can't hide it from me. You can sit here and say I'm crazy and whatever the fuck you want. But your character and your behavior and your actions says a lot about your secret. Your only fucking hope is to just stop what you're doing automatically. But you were warned a long time ago to stop doing it, and you refused to do it. Because you're so fucking arrogant thinking you can just get away with this shit. Ain't happening. It ain't fucking happening. Trust and believe that. You'll be destroyed long before I will. Look at you. You're already fucking wasting away. I heard my mom is in a bad shape. It's from all that witchcraft you're doing. You better knock that shit off. You're gonna fuck yourself up, girl. Go watch The Nun and see what happened to her when her altar got destroyed. She got folded up like a fucking pancake. Gravity hit that bitch like a fucking brick wall. Because when that shit comes back, it comes back with a fucking vengeance. The energy that you put out will be returned to you tenfold. You really shouldn't have fucked with me. That's about all I can tell you. Because this is the end. All your manipulation and your lies. And this isn't just my mom. I'm talking about everybody who was involved. Everybody who was involved. Some of you guys probably won't have it as hard because I will have grace on you. You're lucky if I have grace on you. If I don't have grace on you, you're either gonna end up dead, in prison, or homeless. All fucked up somewhere. That's what's already happening to these people. Because they're slowly diminishing their energy as they're trying to steal mine. That's... You guys might give me temporary discomfort. But this is a transient light affliction that is working for my ultimate glory. In eternity. Eternity. For eternity. You and your family will be cursed forever and eternity. You guys saw that show, right? Holes. That's like my life story, right? You know, set me up on some false ass shit because this family curse, you know. Some inheritance fucking waiting for me at the very end. Send me away to camp. Y'all, I was always in some kind of trouble growing up. I was in and out of programs since I can fucking remember. Might as well have been a ward of the state, truth be told. Not to mention they put me under the false conservatorship. Worse than Britney Spears ever fucking experienced. At least you got to, you know, they let you out of your cage and you got to go and perform on stage. That's cool. But they still fucking tortured you and shit, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Fucking tried to wreck you and shit. Fuck these motherfuckers. But they did the same shit to me. Because they think I'm their property and shit. They're fucking out of their minds. I claim all my land and soil. Psh, motherfuckers don't. Seriously, it's crazy to me because they just constantly discredit me, but I know. Like, I know the truth. And the truth is a sword. It's a sword. Pierces through the marrow. Cuts right through the heart. That's why these people can't handle me. That's why they can't handle me. That's why they would rather just project onto me like I'm this and I'm that. Because the truth to them is... they're scared of it, really. It's crazy to me. I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But that's what it is. People would rather believe a lie. They are comfortable in lies. It reminds me of the Jared Leto song, Beautiful Lie. Like, yeah, but that beautiful lie gonna lead you right to fucking death, okay? Like, no. You gotta have discernment. Discernment is a gift, and it is a skill to be able to take two things and break it down into two parts to separate shit for what is what on what side. My dad always used to say, which if y'all didn't know this about me, but growing up, my dad was a pastor of a church. I was the pastor's daughter. That's why I be spitting out Bible verses like I drink water. Because, and I also have a love and appreciation for the Bible because of how I was raised. Even though, no, I'm not a Freemason, and I don't consider myself a Christian in the traditional sense of what people say, but that's only because I believe that, actually what I really believe is that the Knights Templar was eventually infiltrated by corrupt people, and they distorted things on purpose, even though the Knights were they were there to guard and protect the sacred, the secret, the hidden. And that's why these higher ranking people have a lot of this knowledge, is because I guess they're a little closer to it, you know? Whatever. Some people, it's a part of their lineage. They grow up learning this stuff, which I also did, just in another part of the world, in a different situation. But truth be told, you know, we're all connected to it somehow. So, but that's just what I think. And I think that's happened a lot throughout the course of history. And I also think that's what happened back during when America was first founded. As you all know, I do a civil service And a part of that civil service is actually mostly just awareness, education, research, and things like that. And just sharing that information with people to help enlighten them. And then not only that, but help bring more accountability, to public leaders. Just because their actions affect everybody on a grand scale, obviously. And so, but just trying to bring equity back to things. But what I was going to say is that the infiltration that I do believe took place back during 1666, from the time of 1666, so the revolution of the British Civil Wars, when our ancestors fled from Great Britain, and they came over to this country, and they were followed, like how Pharaoh, when Moses fled from Egypt, and Pharaoh followed with his soldiers all the way to the Red Sea, and they chased even all the way up till they died in the water, but they still were coming and advancing against their lost slaves, Same story. It's just history repeating itself. But this is what I think happened at that same time, is that, the newly freed slaves established the American Republic under the United States of America, unincorporated, which at the time was basically established by the Declaration of Independence. It created an independent nation state corporation. And so, but they came over from across the seas and started to wage war. And as a peace treaty, they entered into an agreement which forged the U.S. Constitution, which the U.S. Constitution is a separate body of law. And this is what people do not understand. And this is what they need to understand. And until they understand this, they're going to get it wrong. These are two separate corporations, two separate nations. That's why you have U.S. nationals and you have American nationals. And you also have American state citizens and you have United States citizens. But because the United States is running this monopoly through this covert peace treaty, which I believe was the Trojan horse of that day. It was just the devil getting a foothold in the door. So if you ask me, most of this stuff is actually constitutional and has to be dealt with on a federal level, and that'll trickle down to the states. But either way, that's what I think happened during the British Civil Wars. So they infiltrated the newly formed nation state called the American Republic, the United States of America unincorporated, which is under the Declaration of Independence. It is established by the Declaration of Independence. It gives America its own country. That's why we call the ground America, okay? People. This ain't fucking rocket science. All you gotta do is put your pride aside and listen for a second. Because if my Akashic records serve me right, in my investigation of them, and this happens to be true, the implications are massive. So, on that note, I'm not going to get into that right now, because I really wasn't trying to get into any kind of civil education stuff right now. But, it is what it is. So, but regardless of all of that, I don't know. I'm just tired of the bullshit when it comes to all this stuff. And so I will definitely be doing more civil work in the coming future. And so I will be accepting contributions. If you would like to make a donation to support my work or in appreciation for my work, you can send a gift. As you all know, the treasure box. Somebody has tried to steal the treasure box from me. If you question that, just know that if you need verification, you're more than welcome to send me a message, a direct message, talk to me. I'll video chat. I'll do whatever you need. If you need me to meet with you, I'm more than willing to do that. Okay, just set an appointment. And then, yes, I do have the booking fee, but if if there's extenuating circumstances that, you know, you would want to request to have that fee waived for whatever reason, like maybe it's a media outlet or what have you, I'm more than happy to, you know, like negotiate that if necessary, or like, you know, a private investigator, for instance. But even then, it just depends on who that person is and if they're verifiable and other things like that. And so it all just depends. But anyways, you're more than welcome to do that. There is, the last I heard, somebody did say that if they go to my Cash App for the treasure box, that it gives them like a warning sign not to give any money to you know, the treasure box, because of something related to do with like not actually sending products that are ordered. And I'm like, I don't really know what that's about, to be honest with you, because I've never really sold any products aside from on Facebook Marketplace, and I've never not like delivered. So I'm like, I don't understand that. I have had, this is one thing that is possible, and I'm not sure what happened with this, but I did have a few like online like drop shipping stores, but those turned out to be like, they just weren't, I couldn't unviable is what I'm thinking right now. And it's because as soon as I started to market for that store, I was bombarded with people who were buying from my store fraudulently, setting me up with false purchases. And so I don't really know kind of what happened after that. Like, as far as I know, I processed those orders, and so I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I actually owe anybody, to be honest with you. And if there was something like that, I would still question it. Like, maybe it was whoever stole my product, my information, because that did happen. That did actually happen with my business. But I do also notice that when I'm able to make a personal contact, that, and then I'm able to exchange my information, it's successful and everything's fine. Hello? Yes. Can you guys hear this? Well, that was stupid. Yeah, oh, that was another thing that happened, which I'm gonna have to just deal with at this point. I'm like, my public servants have been rendered useless for all sorts of various reasons, like people hacking my phone, making it impossible. I'll call out, and I swear, dude, my freaking shit is rerouted to one of these fucking gang stalkers, bro. I swear to God, sometimes I'm just talking with my gang stalkers because they intercept my communications. Like, I've had crazy experiences with, like, when I call out to police officers and, like, when I get a call back. And there were times that these police officers were so degrading and disrespectful to me that I was like, there's no way this is on a recorded line. Because police officers, whether they realize this or not, all of their electronics are surveillanced. All of it can be pulled up and literally watched, like, live. Like, after I went and I talked to that officer, I said what I had to say and I walked away. I did a little reading and I was like, that motherfucker he's about to get a tower. That he doesn't realize that everything, and even if, say for instance, he didn't put on his camera when I was talking to him, for instance, right? So it wasn't recorded. Nothing was recorded, because some of these officers will do that. They will turn off their recording device because they're committing a crime. And there's no real way for you to know. But it's being watched live. People don't realize that. So think again. But I'm so crazy. I think people are funny as hell, because this just goes to show the difference between me and other people. Let's just draw a comparison really quick. Most people that I know, they do not call the cops. Okay? No, it's like a rule. You don't fucking call the cops. See, I'm the complete opposite. I call the cops for every fucking thing. I call the cops when I'm in a bad mood. I even told the guy today, I was like, yeah, you know, you guys are kind of like my personal diary. And I was like, I laughed so hard when I walked away because I was like, I'm the kind of motherfucker that I will call for backup from the next city next door. And I've done it multiple times. I'm like, I'm gonna get everybody in on this. Whoever's trying to gang up on me, well, guess what? I got this whole motherfucking gang right here. And they're my backup. Watching and waiting. Yeah. Because, yeah, it's just is what it is. But it's also how I deal with them is what makes it different than, like, say, West Side Accountability. Because West Side Accountability, they're just yelling at these people who I don't actually like that at all. I do relate that some of these officers are fucking dumb as rocks. Maybe you should say it in the nicest way possible. There's no better way to be politically correct, huh? Incompetence. But I've heard him say all sorts of things, but he's sworn at them and stuff, and I get it, but it's like, you don't want to be an abusive master. You know what I mean? You want to be a master that your servants want to serve. Because you're the kind of master that isn't domineering or controlling or abusive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, an officer is going to have a totally different respect for somebody who comes in honorable versus somebody who isn't. Not to mention, your approach doesn't really accomplish a whole lot at the end. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being real with you. But I appreciate the sentiment. And I think it has its effect in the ways that it does. But I guess I don't really know what he's doing behind the scenes either, like with paperwork or whatever. But as long as he's doing that, then he's doing it right for all I care. If you have to write "fuck you" on paper, then do that, you know. Write it in the most politically correct way. Fuck you, you know. But I still, you know, it kind of goes back to like that idea of the proverb thing is, you know, you catch more bees with honey than you do with vinegar. You know what I'm saying? So I try the best I possibly can to be kind and gentle, so that I might win some. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much what it boils down to for me. Even though, don't get me wrong, it's been when I first started into civil service, one of the things that I had learned in the beginning was how, no, it's actually a part of my job to yell at police officers. Although I've gotten to the point where I don't yell at them anymore. And then I also realized too at some point that I started getting more assistance than what I had before, where, you know, like the officers I was talking to were actually listening, you know, doing their job, where the other ones were being abusive and degrading and stuff like that. But I don't deal with those ones anymore. Every time I talk to an officer, I'm always like, it's been good. Except for today, the guy at the very end, he said, I'll be honest with you, I don't think they're going to do anything about it. He's like, you're just going to have to take this civil. And I was like, this motherfucker just literally committed a crime right in front of my fucking face. And not only that, it was misconduct. It was misconduct. You don't fucking tell people that shit, you fucking moron. His name was Officer Brooks. I'm gonna fucking bring that to your superior's attention. You don't fucking talk like that ever again. It is not up to you to make those kinds of judgments. Your duty is to take the information on and then people investigate that. The information that's provided. Because, yeah, I was explaining to the guy, I'm like, I have all this information, but it's like the tip of the iceberg. But each piece of information can lead them on into more information. I'm like, I just have all these little freaking nuggets of gold, you know, like, and, you know, take what you can. That's pretty much that's how I am. I'm like, here's a bunch of money for you. Do you want it? You know? And then when they say stupid ass shit like that, it just goes to show that they're either incompetent or committing some sort of misconduct, or they're privateering. Like, I sat there and told this guy, I'm like, no, the evidence is there. So bring forth the evidence and the claim, because it's criminal. It's not just some make-believe fluffy thing out here in no man's land. There's legitimate, concrete fucking evidence here. So if you want to keep sitting on your fucking ass, attorney, because you guys have your own fucking private interests, then you're going to get your fucking ass taken out of your seat too. Yeah. For reals. And at this point, I don't care fuck who you are and what your fucking position is. You can be in Congress for all I fucking care. You can be the President of the United States. Oh, fucking will. You're my public servant, and you are actually supposed to be existing to serve American interests and not your privateering fucking interests for your own little fucking oligarchy you got going on here. There's no fucking accountability. Sometimes. Because they do have their checks and balances, but you got to understand the checks and balances, it's subjective. It's under this umbrella of this triangle, but you guys don't understand. There's a